Satya Dharma Reflection and the Offering of the Mahasankhathan on March the 2nd, 2022. Let's offer the Mahasankhathan. There is no need to wait for anything. It's a burden. May all groups of beings humbly offer the Mahasankhathan. May we all, together with all beings in all realms of existence, humbly offer the Mahasankhathan, together with the four necessities and all the followers, both in the non-humans and the humans. Any merit which has arisen from this giving at every time, by Nibbana as it is, may all beings in all realms of existence, all the karmic debtors and the karmic debtors of karmic debtors, be part of this giving, be part of being aligned with the Satya Dharma, be part of the blessing the beings, following the Mahaparami forever and ever. Don't try to use the mind in this way and that way too much. Constantly disregard even from the disregard itself. This will be an automatic purification of the extinction. There is no need to form up the mind too much because it's gonna be the leftover karmic difficulties. This will be the hindrance and Vedana of the mind, which is sticky. It's not clear. It's not transparent. There is no need much. Even disregarding is not involved with itself. Form up the mind in moderations. a lot more of that which has nothing to do with disregarding, so that it will purify to the extinction for the mental karma and its cycle. The more effort, the more is going further from the alignment. The desire will just soaring further and further. It has nothing to do with effort. Nirodha and Nibbana has nothing to do with effort, even a tiny bit. With effort, it's just soaring up. Therefore, effort and perseverance has to be used only with working. The purification of extinction and emptiness cannot be used through efforts. It's impossible. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, all the same. It will be natural purification of extinction. Is beyond peace, beyond mindfulness, concentration, contemplation, special insights, wisdom that is fabricated. That which has nothing to do with the uninvolved itself, uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. This is very well purification through the extinction. A lot of disregarding even from the disregarding more often, so that it will enable to go beyond the mind. To follow the mind in this way and that way is impossible to enable to go beyond it. To be obsessed with following the mind in this way and that way is even worse than following buffaloes and cows. It can circling all day long. Often purify through the uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself. Then it will cut through naturally for the circling within the mind and the heart, for the samsara within and without. Without disregarding, there's no cutting. Without disregarding, there's no cutting. Disregard, even from the disregard itself, that is cutting within the cutting itself. Cut through the cutter itself. This is beyond the effort to cut anything. Cut through the cutting itself. Disregard, even from the disregard itself. Disregard that is not relevant to itself. This is the cutting of the cutter itself. In all suffering, in all happiness. Enable for Nirodha and Nibbana. Use it for the blessing. Don't be obsessed to think of cutting this and that. When the cutting doesn't cut through itself, there is exhaustion from the cutting itself, because that is not true cutting. The true cutting has to be cut through is cutting. True disregarding has to be disregarding that discards itself. There is no need to disregard this and that, on and on. True disregarding is the disregard that disregards itself in all difficulties and easiness. It has nothing to do with happiness or suffering naturally. It will have nothing to do with fine or not fine naturally. Uninvolved, even within the uninvolved itself. Don't be obsessed with just uninvolved with this and that, on and on. Don't be obsessed with uninvolved with this and that until being exhausted. Uninvolved even from the uninvolved itself. That is the uninvolved that purifies itself. Then it will be without flaw. Disregard even from the disregard itself, that is cutting through the cutter itself. It's not about being obsessed to cut through anything. There's difficulties because the obsession with trying to cut this and that there is fixation in it. Cut through the cutter itself, disregard even from the disregard itself. Then it will have nothing to do with attachment or detachment naturally. This is very good for blessing through the emptiness for samsara. Disregard even from the disregard itself. This is the cutting through the cutting itself. There is no need to be obsessed to do vipassana, to create density, to create difficulties on and on. Vipassana within itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. This is cutting the cutter itself, putting down the put down itself, letting go of the letting go itself. In this way, it will enable to end all the practice, end our path and the result of the path. There is no need to try to let go of anything until being exhausted. Let go of the letting go itself. Uninvolved even within the uninvolved itself. Disregard even from the disregard itself. Disregard from the disregard itself. This is enabled to end the path and the result of the path. Automatically, it has nothing to do with attachment or detachment.